When you think you've seen or heard it all, another one comes along. Nigeria is a country of possibilities, negative anyway. Anything, no matter how strange, is possible in Nigeria. Yes, it leads one to question whether these politicians live in an alternate reality. Imagine Tinubu asking Nigerian media to always portray Nigeria in good light so as to attract foreign investment. How can the chief demarketer of Nigeria say this to Nigerian media? Is he trying to get righteous on us? Is he trying to say that all that was revealed during the election and after the elections, that he did not do all this? Is he trying to say that he did not put Nigeria's name to disrepute around the world? This alternate reality and deception is not even the main problem. The worrying problem is the contempt with which he treats Nigerians. Nigerians are smart people. In a sane country, when a leader successfully hides his past before getting to power, and much later that his crime-hidden past is revealed, the normal thing for that leader to do is to resign his position, whatever position, whether it is the highest office in the land or even a local government chairman. The normal thing, an honorable thing to do is to resign from that position. Despite the revelation, there's an issue of identity theft. He was involved in drug trafficking and money laundering to the extent that he forfeited $460,000 to the US government, being narcotics proceeds. There are many issues. Even when he was governor of Lagos State, Nigeria's economic capital, he lied all through his particulars. He has lied under oath many times. The last time he escaped being charged because of that, because the former president used that as a bargaining chip for him to work for him during his election. That was in 2011. So such a character does not have the moral right to tell Nigerians to put their country in good light when he is the dark shadow that is hovering over Nigeria. Except he leaves, light will never penetrate into Nigeria. Yes, that's the reality. Nothing good will ever come out from him. Nigeria's reputation, that's if we had any in the first place, will keep going down the drain. He worsened the economic crisis. That's why multinational companies are leaving. They are closing shop in Nigeria and leaving for better countries or going back to their country. If he had any plan at all, he shouldn't have removed fuel subsidy. You don't do that. Even in a Western country, in United States today, if the price of petrol doubles overnight, it will crash their economy that day, and people, millions, will be on the streets the same day. Yes, they have a higher standard of living. Their GDP is much higher than that of Nigeria, but their citizens will still troop out en masse to protest the increase or doubling of the price of petrol if it were ever to happen in their country. In Nigeria, where we have more poor people and petrol is the main driver of the economy, you wake up one day, double the price, not even double, triple. It was being sold for about 200 before. Now it's 600 and something. That's triple the price. And people didn't do anything. No protest. Everyone just took it and went home. Because of serious electric power shortages in Nigeria, nearly every business, home, schools, banks, whatever organization, even government offices, they all depend on generators. What powers those generators? Petrol and diesel. What about transportation? Road transport makes up a majority of the mode of transport in Nigeria. They all depend on petrol and diesel. And since the cost of petrol tripled, the cost of transportation also tripled. So you can understand the impact on the economy because goods and services were all affected by the increase in the cost of transportation. Yes, this led to serious inflation and the increase in the cost of living. While workers, we didn't receive any raise from the government, not even the private sector, increased workers' salaries. People in Western countries will not accept this if it happened in their country, despite being more prosperous than Nigerians. They will still troop out and make sure the government understands that they are not happy. But in Nigeria, everyone will go home and say, let's pray, it will get better tomorrow. It will never get better if you don't demand for your rights, if you don't show grievances. Power will never concede anything to you, never. Petrol plays a major role in Nigeria's economy, unlike other countries where they have 24-hour power supply. Every home must have a generator. If you don't have, that means you won't be watching television because the power company doesn't inform you when they will cut the supply. They don't even tell you when they will restore the power. So it's so unreliable, and this is what someone saw and tripled the price, knowing how important petrol is to Nigeria's economy. And since the increase of price, the demand for petrol in Nigeria has dropped drastically. What does that tell you? It is a drop in economic activity. This is why South Africa is projected to surpass Nigeria's GDP by next year, 2024. We've now had any real GDP growth the past 8 years. After 2 recessions, it's been up and down all the time. We are supposed to be growing at a much faster rate, up to 10% per annum, considering our population. But we have people in government that should have no business being there. They don't make any research. They don't understand how many things work. Why should someone increase the price of petrol when they know that if petrol continues to be affordable, it will increase productivity? And the increase in productivity in Nigeria's economy will benefit everyone, not just the government. Let's even assume that it's no longer tenable to continue selling petrol at the old price. But is that the fault of Nigerians? When did the government find out this information? They should have planned ahead, at least invested in other alternative sources of energy like CNG to power vehicles. It would have saved a lot of jobs today because many Uber drivers and other taxi drivers are selling off their cars because it's no longer profitable for them. People no longer board taxis because of how expensive it has become. So it's not the fault of citizens. Even the people in power today, they protested against an increase of petrol price many years ago. And since they protested against it and they've been in power for the past 8 years, one would have expected that they should have worked on conditions that will make sure that fuel price increase should never happen. They never did that. They never fixed any of Nigeria's refinery. They never improved the production capacity to at least find a way to support the price of the petrol. They never did all this. In reality, Nigerians are paying for their incompetence, not the real price of petrol. Because if they had made all the right decisions in the past, the cost of petrol wouldn't have reached where it is today. All the catastrophic decisions and mismanagement of Nigeria's resources already put Nigeria in bad light in the eyes of the world. They see all this. How can you be the poverty capital of the world? You have more people that are poor than anywhere else in the world. And your government is busy buying cars for National Assembly members, budgeting billions for the First Lady, which doesn't have any constitutional role in Nigeria. They budgeted billions for Dodon Barracks and a presidential yacht. Are all these more important than fixing the economy? So all these decisions put Nigeria in bad light in the eyes of the world. Plus, the person making all the decisions right now, the character, is nothing to write home about. Foreigners can see Nigeria's potential. So when you make some wrong decisions, they will say, hey, these people, they are not smart. Put this money here, you get this. Invest here, you get that. So we are all making a mockery of ourselves. So no one should come and tell us to say, hey, always project Nigeria in good light. You are the chief demarketer of Nigeria in the first place. Is it the catastrophic floating of the Naira? No developing country will ever do that because it is a death knell on the economy if you do that. Even developed countries don't float their currency. If you had 1 million Naira in January this year, it was worth about $1,400 or thereabout. But today, it is worth less than $900. The only reason they floated the Naira was to increase government revenue, while still paying the same amount of salaries. They never increased salaries for workers. If workers protested for an increase in their salaries and the government accepts, that means we are back to square one because the increase in revenue will never cover the personnel cost alone in government. So you can understand where the problem lies. They can't generate revenue. They can't invest in ventures that will generate more revenue for the government. They only believe in taxation, tax anything taxable. How do you tax people who are not working? You have to create jobs so that people will earn a living in order to pay tax. In conclusion, what the Nigerian media should do is to continue telling stories and reports the way they are so that they will educate Nigerians, because many are actually docile. They don't want to know what is happening. They don't know. They don't have that understanding that government policies actually affects them. That the reason Naira has become valueless is as a result of government policies, which is actually what made them poor in the first place. If Nigerians understood this, they won't be sitting down praying and hoping for a better day. Thanks for watching.